1943, The Fountainhead, novel of moral idealism. Although Ayn Rand would later say that The Fountainhead was kind of like an overture to Atlas Shrugged. Personally, I didn't like Atlas Shrugged very much, but I love The Fountainhead. Okay, now I'm going to read a little bit from my chapter from Ayn Rand at the Movies about The Fountainhead. The novel Rand began in 1935 would be published in 1943. Her tentative title for the novel was Secondhand Lives. It would be published under the title Secondhand Lives, but under the far more inspiring title The Fountainhead. This change was significant because it altered the focus from the people who lived secondhand lives to the individualism and creativity that Rand viewed as the fountainhead of progress. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit down here. Okay, The Fountainhead in 1943 put Ayn Rand on the map as a writer and a public person. Set in the 1920s through early 1930s, its protagonist, Howard Roark, was created by Rand to epitomize a moral ideal. Those were her words, moral ideal. The story begins in 1922 with the 22-year-old Howard expelled from the Stanton Institute of Technology, where he was studying architecture. From childhood, Howard wanted to become an architect. Rand describes her hero as viewing the world through an architectural prism. He looked at the granite, to be cut, he thought, and made into walls. He looked at a tree, to be split and made into rafters. He looked at a streak of rust on the stone and thought of iron ore under the ground, to be melted and to emerge as girders against the sky. These rocks, he thought, are here for me, waiting for the drill, the dynamite, and my voice, waiting to be split, ripped, pounded, reborn, waiting for the shape my hands will give them. Okay, when the story starts, young Howard Roark has just been expelled from architectural school. The youth has not been expelled for lack of talent or industriousness, but because he refuses to learn traditional architectural styles. He believes strongly in modern architecture and will not emulate the architectural styles of ancient Greece or medieval Europe or colonial America or any other past era. When assigned to design something in a period mode, Howard turned in a drawing that is obviously modernistic. The academics who run the institution regard modernism as a passing fad, one that has already passed. Before going further with the Fountainhead plot, it is necessary to comment on the literary school to which Rand subscribed. She wrote in Romantic Realism. Thus, some of the history, particularly the architectural history, was distorted to make a larger point. Some critics have pointed out that at the time the novel was set, modern architecture was becoming quite popular, but she had to change the history to make it fit in with Howard as the individual against the establishment. And she did a good job of it, or at least a good job from a fictional point of view, as making a very powerful novel. This might encourage you to read Ayn Rand at the Movies by Denise No, as well as The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand.